I also want to add my wishes of Mazal Tov to you, Henry, and to your entire family. Last year, not this current school year, but last year, I had the opportunity to teach in the Vav Zayin class, our 6th and 7th graders, and at the end of the year, I had had so much fun working with them. I said, does anybody want to continue to study with me over the summer? And Henry was the first one to jump to that opportunity. Now that I'm hearing what the cantor said about his reluctance, I think maybe he was volunteered instead of on his own, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time with you as much as the cantor did as well, so wish you a mazel tov, and you've done a wonderful job this morning. There is an amazing documentary out right now that you can find on TV, some streaming service, I don't remember which one, but it's called Fake Fame. I don't know if anybody's heard of this, but it's a movie in which Justine Bateman points out that people used to be famous for a skill, whether it was an athlete or an actor. They became famous because of something they could do better than other people can. Essentially, though, the film, this documentary, was about the absurd profession that was invented and perpetuated by social media called influencers. The documentarians selected 3 people who they would pluck from obscurity and create viral personalities. And one of the most incredible data points they shared in the film was that people can purchase followers. And with upgrades, you can buy followers who will actually comment on what you're posting. And the kicker is, those followers aren't even real people. They're bots that are created from an algorithm of faces and thoughts that come from all over the internet. Technology can actually create fictitious people by culling information from all over social media platforms. And I have to say that I am extremely proud that over the last 25 years of the Kardashians being on TV, I've never watched an episode, which is remarkable because I pretty much will watch anything. In case you have no idea who the Kardashians are, well, you're lucky. Kim Kardashian is an influencer in the United States with 340.6 million followers. But more important than that number is that she has an engagement average of 0.74. That means less than 1% of the people who follow her actually care. But the first number is remarkable, 340 million followers. That means roughly the population of the United States. And so it's odd to me, and I have to apologize in advance to those of you who are big followers of Kim Kardashian. It is odd to me that a person with no skills has that many people following her. But then again, neither do any of the influencers that I have seen over the time. All right, settle down. Of course, the opposite is also true. There are some people who have skills, extraordinary talents, and they are never in the spotlight. This morning's Torah reading continues his story and expands to include his brother and his sister, and you know, of course, of whom I'm speaking. It's Moses. And we have 2 very strange verses in this morning's Torah reading. It says, Hu Aharon u'Moshe asher amar lahem hotziu et bnei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim et tzivotam. These are the same Moses and Aaron. That's what the text says. These are the same Moses and Aaron. As if we would confuse them with some other Moses and Aaron. What I find so interesting about this verse is that we know who Moses is. Maybe we're not as familiar with Aaron, even though he is already pointed out to us. But we certainly know who Moses is, as we wonder why the text has to point out that this is the very same Moses and Aaron. It's somewhat comical to me. After all, I have been taught in order to study Torah, you have to know all of Torah. Even without reading the Torah, you would have some clue as to who Moses was. And as the rabbis have pointed out so many times over the course of Jewish history, Lo kam b'Yisrael od navi ki Moshe, there has never arisen another prophet like Moses. Moses is our most famous prophet. And yet the text says to us, this is the same Moses and Aaron. As if to suggest there were lots of Moses and Aarons running around with whom we might be confused. I would refer to Moses as the original OG. I don't know, that's what kids say. I don't even know what that means, OG. The original what? Gamer? Gangster? I wish I had never said it. I should have looked it up first. I know what the phrase GOAT means, greatest of all time. But OG, who knew they were referring to gangsters? Well, Moses was in no way a gangster, so that blows the rest of the sermon. So I'm just kidding. I'm going to keep going. Rashi says something amazing. Rashi, a medieval commentary, says, there are some passages where Scripture mentions Aaron before Moses, and other passages where it says Moses before Aaron. Rashi is pointing out that the reason why the text says this is Moses and Aaron, or this is Aaron and Moses, is in order to indicate that no one gets top billing. Rashi is pointing out that it's not fame that's most important. It's not about getting your name higher on the letterhead. It's about what you're doing. Quoting from the Midrash, Rashi explains that there is no I in team. And the task of redeeming the Jewish people is going to take a team effort. It's not going to be about Moses alone, but sometimes it will. It's not going to be about Aaron alone, but sometimes it will. And so that's why in the next verse it says, Heim midabrim el paro melch Mitzrayim lotzia pnei Yisrael Mitzrayim hu Moshe ve'Aaron. When they went to speak to Pharaoh, this time Moses got top billing. Don't worry the first time that Aaron went first. Now this time Moses goes first. It's not about ego. It's not about whose name is more important. It's not about who gets remembered for the task. It's about what happens. In the first verse, Aaron gets the initial attention, but here we see now that Moses does. And the Kli Yakar, a really wonderful commentary on Rashi, says the following: Lefi shebeikar hashlichut nir'eh ki Moshe ha'ikar she'arei alav levado levad nir'eh Adonai bisneh. The Kli Yakar says the essence of what's going on here is not about Moses being the one who witnessed God at the burning bush. It's not about Moses having a speech impediment. It's not about Moses striking down the Egyptian. It's not about all of the tasks and the talents and the courage that Moses had. It's about doing something simple, and that is relying on someone else. The Kli Yakar says, keep your eye on the target. Figure out what's important and find a way to accomplishment, and make sure you find people to help you along the way. You can't do it alone. So in this documentary I referenced earlier, they were able to stage a number of photos that were complete fakes. For example, they rented a fake private jet. Yes, they went to a warehouse, and there, constructed out of cardboard, was the interior of a private jet, and they placed 2 plush chairs and a table there with cardboard cutouts for the windows. And based on the angle that they took those pictures, it actually looked like they were in a private jet. But it was all a complete sham. It took an unbelievable effort and an incredible amount of time to stage these fake photos in order to give the false impression of a life they never lived. Can you imagine the good they could have done had they spent the same time, energy, and money doing something good for the world, rather than finding themselves in fake places? We live in a world in which we have lost track of what needs to be done and rather have chosen to focus on people. And in so many cases, those people are the least equipped to actually accomplish anything. So today I'll make one simple ask, as I do every Shabbat morning. Don't chase fame. It's meaningless. Chase a cause. Let the challenges influence your decisions, not people who claim one hair product is better than another. Believe you me, I have tried them all. Chase one of the ills in our society and overcome it. Don't try to find yourself in some exotic location on a private airplane. Our world is in desperate need of repair. There are so many challenges. I wish we would devote more of our time and energy to overcoming them. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Musaf, page 184. Chatzi Kaddish introduces it, page 184. Please rise.